paradigm and to build up new strategies, new tools and techniques, and enabling us to proceed towards higher self. It's my gratitude to all of you and to the team too. And our team comprises of Mr. Vivekananda, Mrs. Sinchana, Uday, and myself. And I would like to thank my team also, each of this team, each member, for the continuous support to bring out this document. I'll just share a sort of a PPT which has been done.
So everybody who's watching it, if you watch it in a speaker mode in Zoom, that will give you a better experience. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think the first session that we had was basically on the theory U. We had something called as 3 divides. And the 3 divides are basically the current problem clusters which we have addressed in this particular phase of program. So these 3 divides are basically, we have something called an ecological divide, we have something called a social divide, and we have something called a spiritual divide. Now, each of them play a very important role towards molding us towards a higher self.
Have you shared the screen? I'm not able to.
It's not getting shared.
No,
it's not shared, Mr. Ramesh.
Try it again. Stop and try again.
How about now?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Saying it has started. Maybe you can give the present. Does anybody else has the presentation from the team?
No, we all have a presentation, but then we have not. Anyway, I'll just see if I can also push it.
Yeah. So Ramesh, you can stop, and anybody's internet is better, they can share. Don't worry, this is standard problem. What happened? Okay, otherwise you have to do it without the slide. Okay, so Ramesh, I think you should start without the presentation. Oh.
Come now?
No, it's not yet come. It says you just you started screen sharing. So, send the presentation to Vivek on WhatsApp, or here on the chat, Zoom chat. Okay.
It's not working. Vivekanand, have you got this file?
I've got it, but I'm not in a position to project it.
Can you send it on chat to me?
Yeah, sure.
On the Zoom chat, you send it to Vivek.
I'll send it on the group.
No, here, send it on the Zoom chat to Vivek. You're using the computer, right?
No, I'm actually on the iPad. Had I known, I would have actually got on to.
Okay, so or do it, or Ramesh, you should go ahead without the slide deck. It happens.
Send it to me if you can on anything on WhatsApp. Or
No, we have taken a lot of effort to prepare this PPT. In fact, Sinchana did a lot of work on the internet.
Okay,
to
so
get
send it somehow to Vivek, please.
I will put it on the group. I think that is better.
Okay, do it fast.
LFEF 26 and 27 seminars, isn't it?
Yeah.
Done. I forwarded it. Just see if anyone can play it.
Vivek will try. Vivek, can you please try?
Yeah.
Three divides one needs to wake up to and transforming perception.
Other teams, you can use this time to also make sure that all your team members have the copy. And if you want as a backup, please send it to Vivek on the Zoom chat here.
Yeah, can you see what I'm showing?
Yeah.
You can see three divides one needs to wake up to? Yeah, I think then you can go ahead, Mr.
Go
Ramesh.
ahead.
Yeah.
Can you see that, Ramesh?
Yeah, I can.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so sorry about this. I think some technical issues.
Okay.
So I think just coming to the point, basically we have discussed about the three divides. That was the first point when we started off the seminar. And I thought it's the right time, it's the right proposition, right time to capture this. So what I've done is basically the three divides are captured into ecological divide, the social divide, and the spiritual divide. The ecological divide, can we scroll down the slides, Vivek? Or?
It's not coming like a slide, but these are, it's coming in.
Okay. Yeah. So what happens in this particular thought is the three divides, we have only what the basic underlying thought or the source is basically 90% of this is what we are seeing underneath us, and the 10% is what we see the impact of the ecological, social, and the spiritual divide. So there is something symptoms, which is something which is on top, which is superficial, which we see, but something which is the most stronger is the underlying force, which actually prevents us to go towards a higher self. So that's the point which I'm trying to bring up on the second slide. The third slide, can you just move down? So the divides, as I said, ecological divide is concerning the nature and the ecology. The social divide is basically concerning the society and the human interaction. The spiritual divide is concerning about oneself. When I say concerning the nature and ecology, it's basically what is the impact of we as a human created through the nature, and what is the impact on the ecology of the system. The social divide is basically how we are interacting with different people, with me and the others, basically. How I am, what I am, to how am I conversing with others and talking and interaction, that forms a part of the social divide. Spiritual divide is about oneself, when I am to what I want to be. So this particular slide also was shown to us, which showcases the underlying force of all these things, that's infinite growth bubble to infinite resources. Similarly, something like a financial bubble to a real economy, and something like consumerism to a GDP and a happiness. So these are the three factors. These are against all of these three factors. There are certain pointers that we thought are the main point that addresses the problem clusters, what we talk. Yeah, can we go next slide, please? Yeah. Come down. So what we have done is basically done a sort of a study on the basically the resources that's available in the planet Earth. Basically, we are basically concerned. I've taken two parameters. One is the water and the forest component to it. If you look at the water component that's available on the Earth, we have taken about 97% of the water is saline. We are relying only on the 3% of the fresh water. That means to say that the whole human being is alive, is thriving on the 3% of fresh water for survival. So owing to this 3%, out of which the groundwater table is groundwater and other source of water is about 31% max. The rest are the ice caps and glaciers, which we really can't use it. Then we have, so if you look at that 0.3% surface water, about 87% we have on the lakes. So if you look at the overall on the quantum of water is available on the Earth, the unusable component is 99%. And out of the 1%, 99% is groundwater. So if you look at the human inhabitation extracts water, and as the population grows, there's a huge amount of extract, and there's a deficit of water for the common man. That's one part of the water which I thought I'll address it. The second point of it is component of it. Amazon is quite a large, dense forest area, but a sample area of over 30,000 square kilometer study was taken. And it shows that over a period of time, because of the deforestation and because of the whole thing, this is created sort of ecological imbalance. And there was a huge drop from 2001 to 2019. You can see that slowly it's picking up, but there was a huge drop in the whole process. Because of that, there has been, come to the next slide. There has been unprecedented, that's what we say, there has been unprecedented environmental destruction resulting in the loss of nature. That's because of the floods that's happening, because of the lot of disparity between the human and the ecology is creating a lot of things. And the next point is the ecological divide is summed up by single number 1.5. What we say here is that we as a human, as a Earth, we use 1.5 times of the regenerative capacity. That means we are extracting more than what is needed for survival. So this is the main cause again from ecological divide. The next component I would like to talk is basically on the social divide. Yeah, so as you look at the social divide, this is basically an obscene levels of inequity and fragmentation. Because what I am to some other person. When you start comparing with other person, there is an obscene levels of inequity and fragmentation. He is better off, I am better off. All these things would really result in the loss of society. And this will have an impact on the society as a whole. So there will not be any heart-to-heart connection, or there's some sort of a disparity between talking to people. And this creates a social. So one more thing what I want to bring out is about 62 billionaires who own half of the mankind. So one of these things on the slide, on the small bottommost point, I've showcased that one person is equal to the whole lot of bunch of people standing on the other side. So that is the disparity of the inequality or iniquity between the social status of people. And it is saw in the early 19th centuries, there was a point of ecological divide. There was a part of social. Then can you go next slide, please? So 19th century, many countries saw the rise of social divide. That means there is a sort of disparity between me and the other person. But later on, it came to because of that, there is an impact on the ecological divide. And because of the ecological divide, in the 21st century, there is a rise in the spiritual divide. That means there is a sort of unhappiness, there is a sort of a tendency of some sort of a grudge or frustration builds up. So I've just summarized. In other words, we live in a time when our planet, our society as a whole, and the essence of humanity are under attack. That means there's no way to proceed. There's a sort of our humanity itself is under threat. So this is one part of the social impact of social divide. The second is on the spiritual divide. Come down. As I said, the spiritual divide is basically increasing. The spiritual divide is basically the increasing levels of the burnout and the depression, because it is resulting in loss of meaning and loss of self. That means you are not able to proceed to your higher self because there is a burnout, there's a depression coming up in the whole process. And as per the research which I found out, about 8 lakh people is what they're saying is committing a suicide per year throughout the world, which is much more than the people killed in a war or a murder or any other disaster that happens. So this is one of the cause, again, another impact of a spiritual divide. And similarly, we also are collectively creating results that nobody wants. Nobody wants these results. I mean, basically, so these results include the loss of nature, loss of society, and loss of self. So how do we do that? So what we do is basically we try to bridge these divides. So the bridge these divides we call it as a healing divide. So if you look at the slide below, that's what we are operating from, where we have the 90% of the changing mindsets, the cynicism, the fear, the voices that block the judgment, creativity, all form the 90% of the shell. The 10% is the event or the actions. So that shows that where our basic functioning stems out from. So I'm trying to bridge a sort of a capture here that we have to start seeing, we have to sense it, presencing, crystallize. And once you do that, then we get into a sort of a higher self, and we can address things on a larger. So once you address the source, your productivity can be more. So that's the other part of it. And what are the innovations infrastructures? What we do is basically, these are the action items. The next is the action items. Like for example, we say that stating the increase in 100% forest cover, stating the 100% regenerative agriculture by 2040. So these are the sort of bridging divides. So when I start clubbing all these things over a period of time, ecologically and the social and the spiritual divide clubs together and we start healing the planet. And when you heal the planet, the civilization starts renewal. There's a thrive on the civilization grows over a period of time. So all of us be a part of the activating generative social fields. We co-create, collaborate, and innovate. And by doing this, we move from something called an ego way of thinking to an eco way of, that means the holistic way of sort of renewal. I think, yeah, so come down next, I think. Yeah, so I just completed my, I thank you all of you for listening to my document. I hope it has conveyed good set of messages and intent behind what we have, all of us did. Thank you. Vivek, can you?
Very much in time, exactly 10 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you.
You still have 5 minutes.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Now I will explain briefly about 7 set of aspects which are already we learned in these sessions. The 7 set of aspects are 3 divides. Already Ramesh sir explained about the 3 divides, and ego to ecocentric, downloading, level of listening, empathy work, stakeholder interview, and field of conversation. Next slides.
Are you in a position to see the slides?
Let me see about the main outcomes from this.
No, 1 minute.
Third,
Sinchana, 1 minute.
outcome
Yes,
from
slides
this
are visible.
3.
1 minute, Sinchana. Are you in a position to see the slides?
Yes.
What is the slide that you're seeing? Transforming perception.
Intended outcomes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I
Sinchana,
am
you are.
showing the slide. Vivekanand.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah, thank you,
Vivek here. I'm showing the slide.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sanchana, go ahead. Sanchana.
Oh, okay, sir. Let me say about the main outcomes from the 7 aspects are breakthrough in quality of life, view goals, object, and commitment, transferring your relationship with your barriers by mastering altering perception, breakthrough in connecting with other people, starting to connect to a higher self and purpose, developing ability to sense the emerging future. First one is 3 divides. Already Ramesh sir explained about these 3 divides. Ecological divide, social divide, spiritual divide. In ecological divide, concerning nature and ecology. Social divide means concerning society and social interactions. Spiritual divide is concerning one's self. So next we will move to ego to ecocentric. This is one of the important fundamental program where human beings think they are in the top of the chain system. Sir, please, can you please share next slide? Okay, in this picture, human being is in top of the chain system in the ego side, and in the eco center, he is in the middle. If you think this is one of the important fundamental program where human beings think they are in the top of the chain system, but they are not understanding we are also one of the part in this nature. Nature is the part of us. We are not in the part in this nature. So one of the big environmental crisis is egocentric leadership. Okay, sir, in the next slide. Next slide.
Sinchana, I think please go slow. Don't leave out any.
Has it come?
No, sir. Next slide.
It has.
I can see egocentric to ecocentric.
Sinchana, what slide are you seeing?
I want to see downloading, sir.
Next.
Is that okay?
Yes, sir. This one. Downloading is the third set of aspect in our conversation. Downloading is basically a thought process of individual person, and basically it comes from reflecting from the past thought interaction and any changes that once encountered, connecting with the open heart, open will, and open mind. We have learned something about the sensing programming, ego to ego, that was already discussed. And next slide. Listening, from level of listening, 4 type of listening there. Listening from outside and listening with empathy, seeing through the other person's perspective, and generative listening means connecting to the emerging future. Listening from the habit means it's from the judgment mindset listening. Next is empathy work. Empathy work is an enable us to give us opportunity to think about our communities in a very different perspective. Empathy is the capacity to feel, understand, and support other person's feeling also. From this empathy work, to develop empathy to someone very different from yourself, to develop some skill in establishing a relationship across a significant boundary. From this empathy work, when whom we are known, connect with, we start to opening up, we start connecting through our heart, the things we are understand each other problems, and we start to addressing the issues in empathy work. And in stakeholder interview, this is different, unlike from the empathy work. And in stakeholder, enhancing the clarity about how your work matters from the viewpoint of stakeholders. Stakeholder may be a owner, customer, a society, or a leader, supplier. Okay, then understanding how your stakeholder access the value you create for them. From the stakeholder, we will get an idea from quickly improving the system. What are ideas we quickly do it improving the systems. Next is field of conversation. In the field of conversation, here also 4 type of conversations there. One is downloading, from talking nicely, means speaking from what other want, nobody communicating or listening, just speaking. Next one is debating, means speaking from what I think are from my viewpoint. Next is dialogue, speaking from seeing myself as a part of the whole. And last one is collecting creativity. Here speaking from what is moving through the presence, shifting ideas and authors is the generative flow of listening. From these 7, if we are in the position to develop and involving all these 7 aspects in our life, it would change the way we live, we think, and brought about a huge change in our life. Thank you.
Thank you. So there was 2 minutes intervention, so 2 minutes extra granted. So we can count it, keep 7 minutes, but it is done in 5 minutes.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do we have 2 minutes to go? Do we still have 2 minutes?
No.
No. Okay.
2 minutes granted extra because of technical glitches.
Okay.
Okay, Vivekananda, you get 1 more minute. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, very quickly. In fact, a couple of points that we really wanted to speak about was transforming perception. All these 7 aspects, when put into practice, we actually see a sea change in our approach. Our heart opens up. We actually feel one with the other person. We can actually feel, and we actually would want to get into his world, know what he's dealing with. So this actually brings about a change in our perspective. And what happens is, of course, we must say this is a common feeling that we all got. What we felt was a waste of time speaking to another person, understanding his world is actually so important for us to get connected. And we feel the other person is one with us. And as a team, we start progressing. As a person, we start expanding. as a world, we start becoming one. So that is where we have the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So, basically these 7 concepts, when practiced, and we see when we practice, it actually transforms us, our perception, our thinking, our life, and our world. So this is something that I wanted to share, and we had a few points to cover up on this aspect. So thank you very much, Mr. Manoj, for giving the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivekanand ji.
Thank you.
You spoke very well, and पीछे से विवेकानंद जी दिख रहे हैं. So
Sanjay, hold on. Okay, so okay, so everybody, you can get your video on again, and thank you, this team, for extraordinary work. We appreciate the research you have done, Ramesh.
Thank you.
And Sanchana, we are really, one is I really like that you spoke so much. Maybe this is the sum total of all the speaking that you have done in the workshop and in the seminar series. So that's great.
Thank you, sir.
And I also like those, the work that you have done with the images. So
Thank you, sir.
there's very interesting images. I like many of them, right? And but I think the best one for me was this last one, where you have these animals and the hunter, right? And the animal, I think the bear is saying that before you go ahead, you do a stakeholder interview. I think that is a very good message to humanity.
Right.
There were other good ones also, but this was the last one that kind of stayed in my memory. So extraordinary job. Very, very happy. Thank you very much. Let's acknowledge this team, please, everybody. Really good job. Okay, so which is team 2?
Yeah,
It's our team.
Aruna, okay.
Yeah, so I just would like to introduce the team. Team consists of Usha, Sanjay, Sagar, and Vinay, and Yashasvi, and myself. So without wasting much time, we'll go straight into
AGR, will you please manage the time for this team?
Okay.
So at 10 minutes, you say 10, and then 15, you say time up. Okay.
Okay.
And again, everybody except the team, you can put your video off.
Yeah, Usha, go ahead.
Shall I plunge?
Yes.
Okay. We are team empathy, and the topic given to us is levels of listening and empathy walk. We begin with a small PPT and then follow it by 2 skits. A quote by Rumi says, "There is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen." Most of us, human beings, tend to listen half, understand quarter, and speak double. However, remember, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we can speak. The word listen contains the same letters as silent. Our first skit will take you through the various levels of listening. Beginning with downloading, we move on to factual listening, empathy listening, and generative listening. By emphasizing and seeing through someone else's eye, to develop empathy for someone, very different from yourself, to develop some skill in establishing a relationship across a significant boundary. I do not ask the wounded person how he feels. I myself become the wounded person. This is Song of Myself by Walt Whitman. The second skit takes us to empathy walk. We now invite you to deep listening. And we begin now our skit.
Yeah, I'm introducing our first skit, Leadership in Friendship. This skit primarily deals with 4 levels of listening and a small bit of empathy walk. We were unable to exclude other aspects of theory U, but we are trying to highlight levels of listening and empathy walk. In our skit, there are 4 friends meeting in a function along with 2 police officers. Come on, let's move on to the skit. Hi, Vinay. Sorry I was late to join you guys. I was in an emergency. I came across some horrifying
I know, Sagar.
incident.
As always, hey, Sagar, I know. As always, you come up with some excuses or the other. You are the one who always comes late and delays the plans. Come on, anyhow, we did not want to miss you.
Hey, Sagar, late again? I knew you would be at the police station or at the stadium.
Hey guys, excuse me, somebody's calling.
Come on, Sagar, at least for now, keep your phone off.
Aruna, I'm sorry I got an issue. I need to leave now. People are expecting my presence.
Where? At the stadium? I did see a mob gathering there.
Exactly, stadium. Don't you know what happened?
No, I really don't bother so much about all these happenings these days. I see these mobs often out there. You will surely know the reason. Please let us know why are you such a hurry?
Hey, I feel sorry that you don't know. You know, a minor girl died in a road accident and she was traveling with her father. You know, their scooter hit a big pothole. And I just got a news that a farmer killed himself due to prolonged torture by local moneylenders for his unpaid debt.
Politicians are the main reason for all such happenings. They must be held responsible. They can incorporate better policies for the overall well-being of the public. Their ignorance has costed a young girl's life and also resulted in a farmer killing himself. But politicians, unfortunately, are election period leaders.
Man, I'll get back to you on this. Where is Sanjay, my childhood bestie? At least I can meet him, hug him before I leave.
Here I am, Sagar. By the way, Aruna, your husband is waiting for you to do the rehearsal. Did you forget about your participation in best couple competition?
Yes, Sanjay, I do remember. I was about to leave. Thank you so much. And our politician, sir, as usual, will not be here to see our performance. I don't think he even remembers. We never missed a speech in our school functions, did we?
Hi, Sagar. It has been almost 20 years that we last met. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I am super. My life is going great. By the way, I see you in a stressed mood. You are a bit uncomfortable, are not you?
My goodness, you're one who found me being in a situation of unease. Thanks.
Yes, dear friend. I have done level 1 of LFEF and was doing empathic listening, which is to get connected emotionally. And I thank you for being here despite your uncertain and hectic schedule. You can pick your phone, Sagar. Looks like things are not going good there. Carry on. I'll see you again.
Thank you. Hello, tell me.
Hello, sir. I'm Usha. Do you remember me? I worked as DCP Bangalore South. Now I'm retired. I remember warning you that I'll put you behind bars.
Oh, I remember. You're one of the best officers I've ever seen. I'm aware of your warning too.
Come, sir. I will take you up to the spot. It's raining heavily, and today, being Sunday, it is sure going to be very crowded. It will take us nearly 2 hours to reach there.
Thank you, Ushaji. I got to know that you're Sanjay's cousin, aren't you?
Yes, indeed, I'm Sanjay's cousin. I'm curious to know how you manage to be so calm, empathic, and confident, as you've always been in very different situations, and you're calm in each and every situation. I remember the situation you were handling once in which some miscreants were trying to communalize and politicize the death of a girl.
You asked a very nice question. I'll tell you how I managed to do so. I did a leadership program, LFEF. There I learned 4 different levels of listening. In level 1 of listening, where we are more judgmental, we just don't listen. You can observe it in Vinay's conversation with me. He didn't even let me to complete my words. And in level 2, we keep our mind open, which notices differences and compares us. But we listen more than in level 1. You can observe this in Aruna's conversation with me when she was comparing with me with old me. And in level 3, in this level of listening, we keep our heart open. We become more empathic, as how Sanjay was. He was able to see my situation through his eyes. And in level 4, the special one, which is called generative listening. It is what you all are experiencing now. Yes, I know. You all lost yourself listening to me. That's what it is about. Your ego disappears and ego appears. There is a whole shift in your identity.
Oh my goodness. Yes, I was so much present without any effort. It's beautiful.
Yes, it's experience without any effort, but all it needs is curiosity. And you will be surprised to know about another tool I learned in LFEF, that is empathy walk.
Please go ahead. I'm eagerly waiting to listen to it and tell me something about it as well. How it helped you come up so strong?
I'll tell you about empathy walk later. You asked me how it helped me, right? Listen. In fact, I've learned about many other things like downloading, stakeholders interview, empathy walk, levels of listening, etc., which we can't exclude in our skit, which is hidden implicitly, which we'll discuss later. Applying all this, I have transformed my perception about everything. I got that we have no access to reality. Our actions on something are mostly based on our past downloading about it. I keep my downloading aside and listen from the future wanting to emerge. And here's why I stay strong with much power.
Wow, I'm amazed.
And yeah, you didn't tell me anything about empathy walk.
Yeah, here I come to that. Our conversation till now is what empathy walk deals with. You are very empathic towards me. You wanted to know something deep about me. You asked me about it, and I answered you from my heart.
Oh, it's a mind-blowing experience for me.
For me to DCP, ma'am, we can think of participating in it, right? So that we can transform our perspective of people, politicians, criminals, and system needs a big change, right?
Police officers, 10 minutes over.
It's good. It's a good idea. We will plan for it. By the way, sir, we have reached the spot. Thank you for sharing such a wonderful insight.
Now I'm introducing you for our second skit, which is going to deal with empathy walk.
The business that leaders are in today is the business of transforming awareness. There is deep longing for more meaning, for connections. This is a quote by Otto Sharma. Here is the skit, Autumn to Spring. We present, and it is about a zealous entrepreneur who's willing to expand his venture and emerge as a great leader in the society.
Hi, Sagar. Hope you are having a good day. And yes, as we all are keen to listen to your creative idea regarding the venture, let's proceed.
Good morning, Sanjay. Regarding the expansion of the venture, my idea is to meet new industrialists and collecting information and business models. So if there is any possibility to incult in one of our businesses.
Good morning.
Sanjay's downloading begins here. Here, the crap idea of hers comes again. I'm least interested anyway.
So my idea is pretty simple about visiting websites.
I have heard enough. Sagar will proceed with your idea. I am done. Thank you.
Sagar and Sanjay are very close friends and they meet for lunch that afternoon to discuss more.
Hi, Sagar.
Hey, Sanjay, how did your meeting with the investors go?
Oh, didn't go well. We should try to convince him regarding the returns.
Why don't you listen to the idea of SSV? Our idea seems interesting. Listen, Sanjay, I would like to share some insights regarding a course I did, wherein listening and giving opportunity to other people, though you have other thoughts on him. But if we keep it aside and listen to a person, we actually get to see another perspective and possibility in that person, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
Let me explain a scenario. Last time I went out with our team for a lunch with my co-workers. I casually spoke to them about their upbringing, their hobbies, skills, and it was a fine communication and connection. I could sense a level of bonding with them. And more and things are going pretty well with them also now. It all happened because I was a bit empathetic.
Oh, that's nice. I wish to join the course and know more regarding it in detail.
After a week of Sanjay doing the LFPL and learning more about the empathy walk and levels of listening, Sanjay walks up to Yashasvi to have a conversation.
Hi, Yashasvi. Busy day, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Come, let's have a cup of coffee. And yeah, sorry, I cut you off on presenting your idea. I would like to listen to it as well.
Oh, yeah, sir. So the idea is to reach our various websites, to count and reach the people with polls and interacting with some interesting questions regarding the products that they are interested in to social media platforms. And as well as we can raise our profits as we are collectively focusing on people's requirements.
Interesting. So glad that you gave I gave you an opportunity to share your creative side. Tell me more about yourself, Yashasvi. Where are you from?
I am from Kerala, sir, near Alapi. My hometown is there, but here in Bangalore, I'm for work. I do miss some connections with them.
Same here, Yashasvi. I am so engaged with my work. I do miss small talks with my family. What do you do in your free time?
I love to travel and try local foods, and I do like to do adventurous activities, sir.
That's my favorite thing to do as well. We should plan once and try some local food.
Oh, yeah, sir, we have to. Which is your favorite adventure activity to do, and which is your next place to visit?
Scuba diving, and maybe next plan is to visit Thailand.
15 minutes
That's
over.
nice, sir. My favorite adventure is paragliding, and Thailand is also in my bucket list.
Sounds nice. Thank you for your creative ideas and
Aruna, please wrap up.
Yeah, just one last sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Later on, at the end of the conversation, Sanjay thanks Sagar for introducing him to the LFEL and how the empathy walk has actually really helped him and opened his eyes. This has had a positive impact in his personal and professional life. This is a new beginning, and if all of us practice this in our daily aspects, life will be great. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much. Everybody, you can get your videos on. Great job. I am sure this must have taken a lot of time to prepare. To design skits is not easy. It takes a lot of efforts. How much time did you guys put in this?
Quite a bit, and I think I really want to acknowledge this team for their enthusiasm, for their participation, keeping their busy schedule aside. They really came forward, and then I think we didn't do much of practice in the last few days, but yesterday and this afternoon we did. And I really want to acknowledge and thank each one of them.
Who designed the skits?
Sagar and Yashasvi.
Wow. Because designing is itself a challenge.
The first skit was by Sagar, second was by Yashasvi.
Wow, great. Thank you very much, this whole team. Great job. Really good. Thank you.
Thank you.
He was by Aruna.
Sorry, what did you say, Usha?
The PPT was by Aruna.
Okay, great. Fantastic. This is a demonstration of teamwork. Excellent. Excellent. Okay,
Sir, and leadership of Aruna.
Right. Very
And
good.
Sagar achieved his dream of becoming police officer.
No, the politician.
Yeah, I'm a politician.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much. So which is the team number 3?
It's us.
Okay, over to you, Sudhir and team. Everybody can go off video.
Yeah, I'll just see to share the screen. Can everybody see the screen? Hello?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so we just made a narrative of what we thought, and our way of explanation was what the subject was given to us and how we reflected in possible ideas, how we felt, what we went through. Okay, so Atul will start off first, then I can take over, and then any other team members also will pitch in if we have the time. Thank you. Atul, you want to take over?
Sanjay, you'll manage the time, right, Sanjay?
Yeah. Hello,
Hello.
good evening, everyone. So
Go ahead.
it was a beautiful journey from going ecocentric thinking to egocentric thinking, because and I'm representing my team by using, like, if I use word I, so I'm representing my team like we, and all my team members are also doing that. So in egocentric thinking, like I was thinking being to rule over other people and making them and seeing them a small person and thinking I'm big. But the moment I started seeing ecocentric thinking, like it's possible, and I started seeing from there, then I started giving respect to others and seeing everyone equal. Like there is no small. If I'm talking to my boss, I'm equal to him. And like if I'm talking to my janitor, he's equal to me. And there was, I'm not using my mind. I'm using my, like, my open, I'm speaking to them with open will and open heart. And it's a beautiful connection, whole new relationship. And just there's love, no hate, no fight, no disrespects. And in again ecocentric thinking, I was thinking I me myself, how I can do this, how I can get this, how I can make them others wrong. But in same thing in ecocentric thinking, uh, I starting thinking like how I can value to others' lives by my presence and actions to be on this planet. I'm not thinking about I, me, myself. In again in ecocentric thinking, I was thinking about my bank balance, my personal growth. But when I start seeing the same thing by ecocentric thinking, now I'm thinking instead of growing, I'm thinking about expanding. Like I can open one business, I can give job to 20 people, then I can expand my business 20 to 200, then I can go international, and instead of 200 I am giving jobs to 500 people. But earlier in egocentric thinking I was thinking about how I can increase my bank balance, how I can cut money, how I can save more money, how I can give less money to people. But now I'm thinking how I can generate more jobs or more resources so that I can run 500 or 5,000 families, not thinking about how I can create 500 crores in my account. So that's a like whole shift I got from this program, and it was a beautiful journey. And in again ecocentric thinking, I was making others small, wrong, blaming them others. It was so easy for me, and because of my own things, my own listenings about them, I started separating from all of them. But in egocentric thinking, I reconnected with them. I saw myself where I was triggered and why I took this decision, and I took a responsibility. Now in egocentric thinking, I'm accepting and appreciating everyone with open heart, with open will, and not using my mind at all, just using my heart, and not blaming others, seeing myself.
like where I have to improve myself, and taking a responsibility, creating oneness with all on this planet, even with strangers. I can't see like they are separate. Even in egocentric thinking, I got separated with my like personal family members, my professional like clients and friends. But now I in egocentric thinking, I can connect with cab guy, even with auto guy, and it was it is amazing. It is amazing, and like my game was very small in ecocentric thinking. Like I was thinking I will do this and that one, but in our exercise in ecocentric thinking, I saw this is my last day of my life. Now I'm going to die, and I see behind what I did, and I created a whole new ideas, and I generated something. Even I'm leaving a legacy behind, and again it was created for others, not for me. Even I'm going, I know, but in egocentric thinking, my game was like a mouse, and in egocentric thinking, it was already delivered in like a size of elephant. This is the example I'm creating. And in our slide, you can see we had like one-sided conversations. Even it was not conversation, not listening. It was just like giving the instructions or speech. Like, I don't care you're listening or not. I did my work. But in egocentric thinking, we are humble. Like, we are providing deep listening, giving up my views about them, making them small. And in the second slide, you can see like lack empathy. And yeah, it was clearly there. And humility, now I want to help others. Even 1-year-old kid to like 90-year-old woman, even male, female, it doesn't matter he's from big caste or small caste, he's from this country or not. But my intention is to deliver how I can do better for this world, how I can use my expertise to create something which can add value to people's life. Even I will not there, but that thing can add the value. And yes, this was the beautiful thing I got out of this program.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next part of our thing was we got a downloading, and I thought this was one of the most fascinating aspects, which I felt was an immediate shift what we saw. So in the downloading, when we heard about that, always is that I was thinking only from my head, and it was completely, I could see like I was inside a room with 1,000 screens, and each screen is about different person, either be it my boss or be it my wife or be it friends. So it was only from my point of view. There was no way that I could see anything outside, and I was in a bubble, which is what it is. So I couldn't express from I was just reflecting on how this has happened. So from childhood, you're built on this whole thing, and you're in one large bubble, and you not come out. So all the time it's on judgments, always thinking from my mind, and what I see is right. So that was one important part. Then the shift is just to come out of the bubble of myself and then see the whole possibility. What was happening was a very interesting aspect which we learned. So just to give, I was just trying to see in different formats of how a downloading could happen. That is, this just took an example of a boss and a colleague who were working. So with the downloading, before even the boss talks, so there is this conversation happening in my head that he's very strict. He doesn't care of the junior employees. You know, he cares only about himself. So what's happened is the viewpoint of possibilities is completely blocked from my head. then suddenly when the filter of this opens out and I can see this new possibility that let me listen to him, let me understand from his viewpoint what it is, let me also see from, can I view the whole thing from his place? So that kind of, and then suddenly he cares about us. So this opening of from the downloading to stop my downloading and see another perspective started opening out in that aspect. That was one. And this in the similar downloading, how an aspect of the judgment in my downloading itself, for example, when this is a recent example which happened when I was traveling, I'm just trying to correlate what I've learned and how I could just see that. When I was going, I just got into a taxi and automatically the downloading of so many images of the mind happened of, oh, he must be a crook, he's this, he's that. Just didn't even see the possibility of what a fantastic person is. So we just started speaking to him, and then suddenly the value or the knowledge which he shared about what he is and how he's helping people and how his family is. So that shift kind of showed us that some of the biggest enemy, the enemy of judgment, is always kind of cutting us. So how can I just break this thought? So can I be a little curious? I learned this, being curious. And by just asking this kind of curious question, it started exploring into newer possibilities, and suddenly it started opening my mind. So being curious about whenever this judgment or when this downloading happens, and that started opening out an interesting aspect of that. So that's what this kind of a picture depicts in an example. Another big aspect of which we always see is this cynicism, or why is this in the downloading, this very cynical attitude of comes up. That is because again some kind of a previous possibility of whatever we have gone through. So before anybody comes, I've already started worrying about myself and what others will think, or what others. So there is no, that voice of cynicism completely blocks, or the downloading, it always allows the downloading. So how can I convert this whole aspect from compassion, and how I can open my heart? So this was a beautiful subject, how it kind of opened the heart, and suddenly the downloading opens the mind and it opens the heart. So it was kind of an interesting process which we saw during the voice of downloading. Then the last aspect in the downloading, the possibility of why downloading happens, is also the fear of what will people say, or am I good enough, or am I going to fail? So this aspect of fear which comes in and it becomes part of the downloading. So how it stops allowing new possibilities. So if you just make a little courage, and how we can open out ourselves and just go out and open this, and suddenly there's an open will. So there's a lot more new possibilities happening. So the aspect of downloading as a subject, which I felt the most beautiful part, is how we have restricted ourselves to open ourselves out into new possibilities. One, how we have already created images and images, and old aspects are not allowing to new. So this aspect is what we were trying to capture, and that's part of it we wanted to show. Thank you.
Are we complete?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Everybody, you can get your videos on. That's very good, both of you. This great sharing, and this is like amazing images that you created. I'm sure it would have taken huge amount of thinking and effort to come up with that. By the way, that person in the taxi almost looked like you.
that is part of the experience after the first session we were going through. That's why I wanted to capture that aspect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So great, very good. How did you create those images? You use some software? What?
Yeah. So what? Once when we had a team meeting, we all put together our thought process on downloading. And we had a session with all 5 of us. What's the best method? So there was one method of the previous team used. Can we have a kind of a skit, or So then together, when we thought what is the best way to understand is through I think pictures. I think the memory of pictures is much fast, or caricatures, because that's what from our young age we have been able to see. And when you make funny things, you remember. So I thought we just try that.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Thank you.
You made it? Who made it?
No,
Yeah,
I made it with my team.
Okay, great.
Did you use any software?
Yeah. It's a software from the we used from the PowerPoint and Photoshop we put together.
Okay.
I worked with my office people on this.
Okay, fantastic.
I should give them credit. Yeah.
Yes.
My colleagues.
It was good, really good done, work done.
Thank you.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
So now over to AGR and team. Are you going to present, AGR?
Yeah. So
we'll all go back and mute.
First of all, I'm going to share something, Manoj, because we didn't create anything, even though we met twice.
Okay.
It's not causing the matter, so we don't have any slides, any skits. So I thought I will create it by sharing. Is that okay?
Yeah. Whatever. You got 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. You can do whatever you want to do, right?
Okay.
This slot is yours. So get your team to put their videos on, and everybody else can put their videos off.
Yeah. I see Joe. Joe, can you put your video on? And Meghraj.
I think Joe is kind of traveling. His net may not be good. Meghraj, can you get your video on?
He's the only one, because Krishna Kumar said he will only listen.
Yeah, okay. And
others are not here.
Gajanan is part of your team? No.
No.
Okay. Go ahead, AGR.
Okay, good evening, friends. So what I'm going to share is from the points of fields of conversation. Whenever we are together in a meeting, it could be an official meeting, or family, an extended family or something. The way we participate could fall into one of these modes, and each of them have its own things, and what it creates is completely different. So that's what this fields of conversation deals with. The first way is talking nice or just conforming to the group. So I'm going to share this from something that happened in my life. I'm from the Indian Institute of Science. I'm a professor, and there is a Center for Brain Research which started some times back. And since I read a lot about brain research, even though I'm not involved, I always had a lot of comments and concerns about how it was being handled. Some person has donated around 250 crores, and I felt that they were not really making good use of it and all that. But whenever there was a meeting, the director presented it or somebody else presented it, I never said anything. So I just nodded there. They said, "Oh, this is great. We are doing that. We are doing that." I nodded my head, and so that is, and I'm left, dissatisfied, and I didn't even have the courage to say anything. So that is this first level of conversation where, you don't really say what is there in your mind, and you just want to look nice and then, manage the show. The next level is talking tough. And but again, you don't care about the people, but at least you just vomit whatever you want to say. You debate, everybody says whatever they feel like. But what I feel that is, at least you need to have a courage to talk tough. I didn't even have that courage to talk tough in this thing, but I used to, in my own small groups, like when I was with my students or with some colleague whom I know well, I used to complain about, what doesn't work in this Center for Brain Research. The director is not okay, and some of these visiting people are not okay, and what else could be done, and so on. So that is, again, you are left unfulfilled because it does not forward anything. So the third level of fields of conversation is reflective inquiry or dialogue, where you say what you have to say, but you are clear that it is just your point of view, and there could be other point of view, and you are ready to listen to others' opinions. And you also make it clear to people that, this is how I see it. Now tell me what do you see it, kind of. So after participating in this, one day I was thinking about it. I've been sitting with this for this long. I thought I should write to the director. So I sent a mail on a Sunday to the director telling that, I had all this concern for a long time. I thought, you may be ready to listen to this. And this is my view, and you may have other views, but this is what I personally felt. And I thought, there are things that could be done better for the benefit of the center. So I was not sure how he is going to take it, but I was happy that, I presented it without making anybody wrong, but I made my opinions. I couldn't believe within 15 minutes, I got a mail from him on a Sunday evening. He said, Ajia, whatever points you have made are very, very important and very valid. I want to meet you earlier, if not later. So please tell me when we can meet. So I was so happy, and I immediately replied that I did think that you will reply, but not so early. I never expected. I'm available tomorrow also, something I said. And next day he gave me a time at 2 o'clock after lunch. And I went there. So what happened is what I call is the fourth field of conversation, which is generative flow or a collective creativity. So he received me well and immediately asked me whether I want a coffee or tea, whatever, even though I had some complaints about the center. So, we started talking. He said, you tell me, and he was saying something about, he had taken over the center very recently as a director. So he was defending the previous director. I told him, sir, you don't need to defend anything. I don't have any complaints. I just felt that that's all. I don't have any stakes in this thing. You know that I'm going to retire, but I felt that certain things could be done better. Like if I'm applying from abroad for this, these are the things that I don't like. I may not be impressed by this. So he started listening and he started noting down, and he said, I will take action on some of these things. So, and he was also saying, what are his plans? And he also said that, that I'm not the right person here, but I was requested. So my first job is to get the best director to replace me very soon, and so on. So it was so fulfilling. We had a meeting more than an hour, and this is something I never expected. And I really thank the program and what it created for me. And I really could see some new opening in my life as how, instead of, sitting in a corner and feeling bad about something, to, creating a conversation that forwards something. So I felt very happy, and this is what I wanted to share from the fields of conversation. So the second thing that topic which was given to us is stakeholders interview. See, earlier when I thought about stakeholder is, if I'm in some business and, my customer is stakeholder and so on. But what I learned by, applying it in two different this thing is, in stakeholders interview, I not only see the other person as the stakeholder, but I also become the stakeholder, because both are involved in forwarding what is important for that organization. So I'll share, depending on the time, one or two. So I always had good relationship with my students. I have graduated around 19 PhDs in my 30 years of service, and so many other MTechs and so on. But a few years back, one student joined, who had gone through a lot of issues in his life, personal life. He also went through some psychological things. He was under treatment. So a number of things happened in his life. He lost money and so on. So somehow, and he came for studies after 10 years of a break. He never had a proper job also. He was bright, so I took him. So somehow things didn't work out, and slowly things became worse. And he even stopped coming to the department. I used to make him wrong and shout at him in front of other students and ask them to talk to him. All kinds of things happened, but nothing worked. But after I got this stakeholders interview, then one day I called him. I said, so far, I was always making you wrong and I was saying whatever I was saying, nothing worked. So, but now I want to listen to you. So the most important thing stakeholders interview is, so you are ready to do something to forward what is important for the organization. In this case, it's my lab. So I told him that, it is your research. So tell me, I have failed in, whatever I wanted to accomplish in my interaction with you. So I'm going to simply listen to you. Tell me what is all there in your mind and what is the most important objective that you have out of in this context. Then he started slowly sharing things, and then we got connected. And then I asked him, what are the two things that if I change, that will make a difference. He said, so many times you ask me to do something and I don't do it. If I don't do it, then I don't even communicate because I feel that you will get angry and this thing. So please, be ready to listen to me. That's one request he gave me. And another one. So, the net result is that in the past 3-4 months, he has started regularly coming to the department and started working. And I asked him to send reports, which he never did earlier. So still there are issues, but it's a huge movement from where the relationship were. So that was what was possible out of the stakeholders interview. Do I have time?
Yes, it is 10 minutes till
Over,
now.
Okay.
5 minutes in hand.
Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. The other one is actually no. That's it. Actually, the other one is case.
Yeah, I think it would be good to wrap up now. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
You want to say something to wrap up?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the
Thank you very
opportunity and
much.
thanks for my team also.
Great work and great sharing. Thank you very much. Of course, we missed your team presentation, but I think you did a great job. Thank you. And your sharing was really powerful. Thanks. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Okay, get your videos on. So can we acknowledge AGR for sharing and all the teams? Let's have one more round of acknowledgement for all the teams. Extraordinary work. Of course, we missed some people sharing. I was looking forward to hearing Harshita and Meghraj. We didn't get a chance to hear from them. Gazanand, Sehul, everybody, but no problem. Thank you very much for being involved in the whole game. Okay, so now we'll announce the results at the end of the session. Don't worry about the results. Everybody did a great job. Now we want to do two things. One is we want to create a key principle for you to watch out for, and then we will like to give everybody a chance to share. Okay, so let me